Forget the time. Light Reminder lets you know. Totally immersed in the movie. Minimize software won't distract you. Brake Reminder and Force Brake help manage your screen time. When it's almost time, a countdown starts. Force Brake activates to rest your eyes. I Care You. Safeguard your eyes.
Hello, welcome back to AMX Global. It's race day number 41. It's Alex and Marco back with you. And Marco, firstly, we have to talk about this is your last appearance on Beta Season 2. The time's flown by, buddy.
Incredible. Thank you, Alex. Thank you to everyone watching. And of course, the guys behind the scenes. Yes, I mean, been a fantastic season. Went by so quickly. What best way to say goodbye than to have a fantastic double header with VIR, with the Cadillacs, and Legends at Langley, two of the basic cars of iRacing, free cars of iRacing, everybody can drive, and I've done so many commentaries with the Cadillac, but never with the Legends.
Yeah, a double header. AMX 0 is up first. It's race 36 of AMX Beta Season 2 here on AMX Global Live on YouTube and Twitch. It's getting ready to get underway with our qualifying session. We have expanded them for AMX 0 and AMX 5, and there you see the circuit itself. We will go through the track and also the car being used the first of 2 races tonight. After this, we'll have 3 more days to conclude Beta Season 2 here on AMX Global. But then, of course, there has been the biggest shift, the dynamic shift into the prize pools. So we have upped the stakes for the final stage. There you see the prize pool changes. We like to elongate our zeros and our 5s here on AMX Global. It comes with part of the territory. Times remain the same, 7:40 PM Eastern Time for AMX 0, 8:40 PM time for AMX 5. But with AMX 0, it is also the fact we've opened up the prize pool to a maximum of $142. Reverse grid placements are happening for both races, so wherever you qualify, you will start in the reverse of where the finishing order was in qualifying. Points and US dollars are up for grabs for both the qualifying and the race, and also a bonus of $2 for the fastest lap of the race in AMX 0. AMX 5 will cover in the second race later on this broadcast, and we will give out the same prize pool for qualifying and racing to make sure it's a level playing field. Faster, easier payouts now available, and you can withdraw your money. You can request your money at increments of $100 without waiting until the end of the season, but any unclaimed winnings will roll over into the next season that will be coming on AMX Global. Stay tuned to our social medias for further developments, and also to our website at amxrace.com. Also, driver cams now become part, and they have done since the introduction of the final phase. AMX 0, if you join the AMX Zoom call, so it's Zoom time, everybody, with the camera showing your face and race setup. Unfortunately, if your name is Marcelo Reales, it's going to be your monitor, and you receive $1 additional. It's mandatory for all AMX 5 races from now on. But what we're now going to do, I'm going to step away. Marco, over to you, the track, the car for tonight.
Yes, Virginia International Raceway recently rescanned and made free by the racing bosses. Really one of the latest rescans, I think just 3 months back, and what a fantastic technical track in the middle of nature. I think I always compared it to a little bit of a mix between the Nordschleife and Spa with American flavor. Very technical, you have any kind of corner, fast sections, technical sections, elevation changes galore. One of the most beautiful tracks. Sadly, with the rescan we lost the oak tree, but it will be forever in our hearts. And of course we'll be racing here with the Cadillac CTS car. Again, a free car, has been on iRacing for so long. Actually, my first ever commentary in iRacing was in 2015 for the Italian Cadillac Championship, which I organized with a couple of friends. Times have changed. There were no graphics, no live timing, nothing, just using your mouse and keyboard to switch through the cameras. So this car has a special place in my heart, still raced in iRacing after all these years. Of course, a car that has been used a lot in the Pirelli World Challenge way back when in North America. Sort of a, we could classify around the between GT2 and GT3 of like 10 years ago, more or less. Very powerful, beautiful engine sound, ABS and traction control. What a fantastic car this is.
Yeah. So what we have here on AMX Global is race number 36 of AMX 0. It's going to be a 15-minute qualifying session, coming to the final throes of the 1 hour 60-minute pre-practice. Ambient air temperature around the circuit is just 25.5 degrees Celsius. Track temperature, however, is 49.44 degrees Celsius. Partially cloudy overhead. A little bit of a replay here. Now this is the number 22. Well, Diego Villarreal getting it all kinds of crossed up, going grass tracking. The Caddy Cts-V has decided to do a bit of a gymkhana here at VIR, one of the hidden gems. Also a staple on the Fanatec GT World Challenge Americas, powered by AWS, that was actually in competition this past weekend. So yeah, spearing straight on into the barriers. And that pretty much concludes the free practice ahead of our 15-minute qualifying session. Caio Gaspar looks to have topped the timesheets, the only driver to go sub 1 minute 48 in these Caddy CTS-Vs. Gaston Colharvey, Fabio Zampolini, Marcelo Reales, Laui Santi, Nico Godoy and Diego Villarreal rounding out the timesheets as we now get underway with qualifying. It's a 15-minute qualifying session, and follow that up with a 10-lap race. Of course, it is as I said, one of the hidden gems in American sports car racing, especially with turns 13 to 15, the roller coaster, and turns 16A to 17, the hog pen, before going through the main start-finish straight. There are your finishing your best practice results from the respective drivers. Caio Gaspar from KTF BRB Esports leading the way, over 7/10 quicker than Gaston Colharvey. Fabio Zampolini about a 10.5 adrift. Marcelo Reales rounding out the top four, covered by a second Laui Santi, Nico Godoy and Sudamericana Racing Team's Diego Villarreal rounding out the 7 strong. So after the results of qualifying, that will then switch into a reverse grid. There are the prize pool points. So 10 points, $10 US for a victory, 9 for second, 8 for third, 7 for fourth, 6 for fifth, and then we run all the way down to 20th position. The fastest lap set by any one driver in this race overall will incur $2 US. Now, we do say that a DNF will be a no-show, no qualifying attempt. That basically means dollars are out the window. If you finish under 80% the race winner's time, you are classed as a DNF, so no bueno, no points. So we're into the first minute and 40 of this qualifying session, as drivers will be jockeying for position. A couple of drivers there. It looks to be one of them is going to be the 327 of Fabio Zampolini, And Gaston Coulharvey has channeled his inner Lego Technic all of a sudden. There is the number 4 of Marcelo Reales running in the Red Bull livery. There we go, there's the Lego System Lego livery. Very, very much blocky, not blockchain, so no crypto on this particular occasion here on AMX Global. There's these wonderful roaring V8s, sound absolutely glorious. We're riding on board with Gaston Coulharvey as he makes his way towards turn 13 and go across the start-finish line. Reales sets the first benchmark, 2 minute 2.910. Coulharvey into the horseshoe here at turn 1. Second gear, just over 60 miles an hour, puts the power down. Into the left-hander here at turn 2 before turn 3. 90 left at NASCAR Bend. It's a short shoot up towards left hook here at turn 4A. They go into the right at 4B. And then this is where it gets tricky. High speed, sudden, slight changes of momentum. Make his way through the snake here at turn 6A and 6B. There is the number 7 of Kyle Gaspar. Best lap from him so far, 1 minute 57.308. So absolutely brilliant lap time from the Argentinian. They've really got to start motoring on. Kyle Gaspar. It's actually Nico Godoy that set the fastest lap time, 1 minute 57.308. Nico Godoy, we've seen qualified towards the back end of the field. Gaspar, we're on board with at the moment. Best effort from him so far, even though in these early phase of this qualifying session, here Marco, 4.63 seconds down, but we have seen Kyle Gaspar, who's top of practice, is now going to be pushing over 240 kph as he goes over the crest of the hill, heading towards the infamous South Bend at turn number 10, down the gearbox into third, now down to second, into turn, well, this is going a little bit further down the track actually, my apologies here, but you can just see this is actually coming towards the roller coaster. These drivers are going to be on the absolute limit of adhesion round a qualifying lap at VIR.
Yes, but that was an honest mistake from you, and sometimes it's easy as Reales goes fastest and Coulharvey promptly beats him. Easy to get lost around here because you don't really have a lot of reference points. Gaspar 47.980, not a lot of reference points around here, especially for the vast majority of the track. The closest thing you have to you is like the tree line, and it's thankfully in the distance, is not very close to you, so it's sometimes difficult to pick up your spots, your braking areas, and of course, despite the track being recently resurfaced and of course rescanned by iRacing, as Godoy comes back on the start-finish line. He was 5th a few minutes ago, now he's down to 5th. Basically, there is only grass everywhere. Godoy up to 4th, no tarmac in the runoffs, absolutely nothing, just grass, so it's important, mandatory, that you get your braking zones and your braking points right. Especially into turn 1, we'll see later when the race will start. It's incredibly easy, almost like Lime Rock, that when you go too deep at the start of the race, or any other lap for that matter, and clip the grass on the left side for the double right-hander at the beginning, it's quite possible then you will start to slide until you get into those trees in the distance, and of course lose a lot of time. And in qualifying, given this is a very long lap, getting an off track, invalidating your lap, you basically lose almost 2 minutes of your precious time and then have to start again. So as Laui Santi, one of the 2 drivers without a valid lap time, the other being Diego Villarreal, comes on the start finish line, he will be up to 4th place, so Santi, Laui and Reales up into 2nd. He improves to overtake Coulharvey, but still nobody has been a challenge for Kyle Gaspar there in 1st place, almost 1 second to the good.
Fastest speed around this circuit, which measures at 273.1 kilometers an hour, is now in the well, thanks to the driver in 4th place, who's just been dumped down from 3rd, Gaston Coulharvey. That measures at just over 169.3 miles an hour. So these cars are pushing 170 at absolute full throttle at particular parts of this circuit. You can see the speeds on their previous laps. So terminal speeds will be lap by lap, but Gaston Coulharvey has showcased that he can wring the most amount of speed out of this Cadillac Cts-V. Can be a little bit of a handful. There's Kaya Gaspar on an outlap. Diego Villarreal has done, well, he's about to complete his 4th lap in qualifying. All 3 previous ones have been invalidated. He crosses the line. And looks to be another invalidation there. No, it does not. No, it's 5th place. 1 minute 50.656 for the number 22, the Uruguayan driver, Sudamerica Racing Team. And as I say that, fate of circumstance appears that Diego Villarreal lost control of the Cadillac just then. We're just past the halfway mark in this 15-minute qualifying session for a 10-lap race around this particular circuit. A lot of undulation, a lot of curbing, lots of camber also involved, as Fabio Zampolini has done a personal best in sectors 1, 2, 3, well, 4 and 5. It's about to very shortly hopefully get a little bit quicker in that 6th sector. Gaspar is again improving, setting the personal best, and that is Fabio, man himself. In the bottom left-hand corner of your screens, Kaya Gaspar. Not such a great 3rd sector for the number 7, but he's fastest of anybody. He's making his way down what will be from Oak Tree down the back straight, heading in towards the roller coaster. There is Gaspar in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Great helicam shot here as he threads his way into turn 13, so he's going to go up the incline, over the crest. It's very, very deceptive here at the roller coaster. So through turn 14, into the left at 15 very shortly. Short shoot down to turn 16A, 16B, bouncing over the curbs through at Hogpen, through the right-hander. You'll bring him onto the start-finish straight. Is this going to be an improvement for Kaya Gaspar? He's going to keep the car as far pinned to the right-hand side as humanly possible. A 1:47.9 was his best effort. That time wasn't that far off. It was a 1:48.117. But everything is looking very, very close indeed. Top 4 covered by just over a second. And then the gap between 5th, 6th and 7th between Loïs Santi, Diego Villarreal, who we have on our screens just now. There's Loïs Santi. He's about to cross the line again. Is the number 138, the Brazilian. Is he going to make an improvement this time? It is an improvement in terms of lap time, but he remains in 5th place. There's the Lego Special Edition, courtesy of Gaston Coulhavy, the number 5, the man who likes to put Peppa Pig on his Hyundai Elantra NTCR whenever we go TCR racing. There'll be some more TCR action before the end of the season. Gaspar, Fabio Zampolini, covered by just over 0.8 of a second. Run aboard with Gaston Coulhavy. He's making his way through the roller coaster section. You can just see how much undulation there is at this circuit, and still with just under 5 minutes to go. Fabio Zampolini at the moment, Marco, is the closest one to Kaya Gaspar just so far.
Yeah, and still far away, 0.8 of a second, which of course in a track like this is not the biggest of margins. I mean, it is big, but it only takes a lap you do a little bit differently, and maybe you can cut into that big gap. You can see Coulhavy struggling into turn 1 here. Of course, the horseshoe that brings you to this. I love how this track really has so many different sections, very different from each other, but they all make sense when you put them together. It doesn't feel disconnected, like for example Circuit of the Americas, which I know is a polarizing track. It has some lovers, some haters. I'm sort of in between, but you can really tell there is a little bit of a lack of connection between the various bits of the track. Here, you don't have this problem. It's absolutely beautiful to see the cars speed through some section and then having to make their way, work hard in others. I said earlier that sadly the Oak Tree will forever live in our hearts, because sometimes iRacing, when they rescan a racetrack, they will keep the old scan for use. For example, this happened for Charlotte. You can use the old scan of Charlotte, both the road course and the oval, and together with a new one. But for example, for this, or for Watkins Glen. No, the old scan was deleted forever, erased from our memories, and so the oak tree that, for people that don't know, was sitting in turn 12, on the inside of turn 12, which was, I think, destroyed during a storm a few years ago. Well, it's not going to come back, neither in real life, not in iRacing. But we'll still always have the scary tree at Snetterton that will still stay in iRacing, because I don't think iRacing will rescan Snetterton anytime soon. So, for curious flora around the racetracks in iRacing, some good news and some bad news.
Yeah, Fabio Zampolini has just improved again, and he's got to within 0.3 of a second as Caio Gaspar, once again through sectors 1, 3 and 4, is improving. He's done a personal best in sector number 2. From the oak tree down to the roller coaster kind of reminds me a bit of Le Mans, down the Mulsanne straight before you hit the chicane. Turns 8, 8B and 9 remind me a little bit of Silverstone, Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. As Caio Gaspar comes across the line, is he going to improve and further extend the gap between himself and Fabio Zampolini? 1 minute 47.773. That's nearly half a second between the pair as we head into the final 2 minutes. Zampolini gets out of the pit lane shortly, might have one opportunity. Marcelo Reales is going out for a final attempt to maybe see if he can get past Gaston Coolharvey. Place, you can just see the amount of steering input Caio Gaspar in the bottom left hand corner of your screen is putting in to his steering wheel, and that is Lauri Santi. He's done personal best in sectors 1, 2, 4 and 6, and Marcelo Reales, well, we're showing on an outlap. Oh dearie me, Nico Godoy's gone grass tracking. The man with the best beard out of the whole of the drivers that we have here on AMX Global. Well, him and also Diego Villarreal. I mean, Villarreal has a very, very lengthy beard. Nico Godoy kind of reminds me of those Asterix comics from when I was a kid, where you used to have the druid with very, very, have one person that would have a very, very prominent beard, and then you'd have someone like the druid, like Getafix, having the very, very long beard. But yeah, that's a proper beard right there from Nico Godoy in the Zoom call. But we're coming to the final 30 seconds. Here we have Marcelo Reales running in the Red Bull livery. He's done a personal best in sector number 1. Bit of a disappointing second sector for the number 4 car. He's still currently 4th place. And then we say Marcelo's monitor. But yeah, let's see if he can maybe gather things up. He's improved in sector 3, put in a personal best. Now he's going to go down the back straight, which really isn't a back straight, to be honest with you. There's a little bit of a kink as you go up towards the top of the crest, and that is the session concluded. So, Caio Gaspar picks up $10 for taking pole position. He's going to start from the back of the grid. Fabio Zampolini takes second ahead of Gaston Coolharvey, Marcelo Reales, Lauri Santi, Nico Godoy, Diego Villarreal. The entire field are covered by 2.8 seconds. However, this means that Diego Villarreal and Nico Godoy will line up on the front row. 10 laps await us here at VIO, Marco. What are you expecting? What are you hoping for?
It's going to be an interesting race because the drivers that are starting at the back, so Gaspar, Zampolini, Coolharvey, etc., will have to be incredibly patient. It's a long lap around here, but as I was saying earlier, if you make a mistake, it's a long way back to recover, and it's not easy. So you need to pick up your spots wisely, because there are passing opportunities around here, but not every corner is a passing opportunity around this place. And more importantly, you have to be prepared, because it's a full pace lap, which of course gives us the chance to look around the beautiful scenery around here at Virginia International Raceway. Again, a track that honestly, iRacing made a fantastic winning idea to make it free for everyone. Now, I paid for it a few years ago, but that's besides the point. It's really having a second life also with the rescan as well, being put in a lot of series, especially the rookie series. So now, back then, before it became free, it was data in hand, one of the most unpopular racetracks in all of the service. It's not fancy, it's not on the... Yeah, it's on the IMSA schedule, but they only do the GTs around here. So maybe it was the drop week for a lot of people. Nobody was going to drop $12 on this one. But now, being a free track, so being, of course, in the rookie series rotation, it has really had a second lease of life, and I'm very happy because it's such a beautiful, beautiful track to drive. You were saying it right, a hidden gem of motorsport, and I'm very happy that we can get this combo today, the Cadillacs around here, because it's going to be fantastic. As I was saying, full pace lap, so we can enjoy all of the beautiful scenario, and it's very beautiful around here.
Yes, indeed, the Porsche safety car leading the field around as Nico Godoy will start from pole position. Diego Villarreal in the number 22 will be alongside. Background, you see Gaston Coulthard, Kyle Gaspar rounding out the 7-strong grid. And comes to the overall leaderboards so far, Kyle Gaspar is not that well. He's just hit $1,600 US by getting that pole position just now. So you look at, there's several drivers, Jackson Resenji, Gaston Coulthard, Fabio Zampolini, Gael Valero, Florentin Guiñez and Diego Villarreal that have all eclipsed 4 figures. So they've gone north of $1,000. But yeah, this circuit is a hidden gem. So much undulation, so many difficult parts of the circuit, especially when you may have it being 2. You could even have it 3 wide coming out of Old Tree, going down the back straight, heading up the hill, and there's going to be a little bit of strain put on the engine going up this particular part of the circuit. And also you may think, well, hang on, I'm doing 270 up here. Well, the engine's going to say otherwise. So is gravity, because when you try and go fast up a hill, the car doesn't always respond to you. Looks like Nico Godoy is scarping into the distance to keep right with the pace car, and everyone else just sort of holding back a little bit, especially Coulthard and Gaspar. But 10 laps around this circuit, it's not going to be an easy one, Marco. And last time you and I were both on AMX Global together, we did see a little bit of drama, didn't we?
Yes, absolutely. And again, today you have to race the opponents, you have to race the racetrack. So easy to make a mistake around here. I cannot stress this enough. If you guys at home haven't tried it, it's going to be a tough race for everybody. But first thing on the menu, survive the first lap, survive the first corner, and position yourself for a good finishing position.
Yeah, so cars now start to build speed. We are going to be under green flag racing conditions as the field hurtles its way down towards the horseshoe for the first time. Diego Villarreal got the best start of anybody. Now he was on the front row alongside Nico Godoy as Gaston Coulthard fires it up the inside of Loïc Santi. A little bit of a wobble coming out of the horseshoe by Diego Villarreal. Gaston Coulthard now takes the race lead as they head through into turn 2, into NASCAR Bend here at turn 3. And Loïc Santi going on the defensive ahead of Nico Godoy. Kyle Gaspar has already dispatched with Marcelo Reales. Fabio Zampolini, who rounds out the 7-strong grid as they go through out of left hook through into Snake, turn 6A and 6B, now through underneath the bridge into turn 7, turn 8A, where they're going to go over the crest, bump over the curbs, through turn 8B, through turn 9, and then head into the left-hand kink here at South Bend before the approach into Oak Tree at turns 11 and 12. You've got a little bit of an undulation, a compression zone there that you also have to compensate for. But so far, so good here, Marco, as they make their way onto the back straight here on lap 1 out of 10.
Great start from everybody, very disciplined and single file through the backstretch as Gaston Coulthard leads the way. 4 positions gained. Diego Villarreal second, and Laui Santi started third and still is third. Then Godoy, Gaspar, Reales and Zaperin as they go up the hill. This very tricky braking section as they basically prepare to go, as Godoy beating and banging, and Laui Santi goes past him.
Yeah, Laui Santi just making quick work of Nico Godoy. Lap 1 completed. Gaston Coulharvey has the lead of about 1.3 seconds over Diego Villarreal. Laui Santi leads the train from behind in third place, half a second ahead of Nico Godoy, who's got Caio Gaspar closing in on him. Go on board with Nico Godoy and up the inside through the horseshoe. Nearly a little bit of a touch, front left to right rear between the two. Caio Gaspar now looking to get through at turn 2, into the run here at NASCAR Bend at turn 3, and Godoy defends admirably there. A little bit of a wobble, back end stepping out to the right hand side on Caio Gaspar coming out of turn 3, now through turn 4B, 5A, 5B, now through into Snake at turn 6, A and B. Literally flat line of that chicane as they go under the bridge once more in towards turn number 7. But a great defence there from Nico Godoy from Caio Gaspar, the most successful in terms of prize money this season. Just 3 race days to go, 2 more this week and 1 on Sunday night to conclude what has been an interesting and dynamic. And Boy spins it out of Old Tree, and Reales has to react accordingly. That allows Zampolini to get through, and Nico Godoy just, I think, might have gotten on the loud pedal a little bit too early.
And I think that Marcelo got the worst of it. Of course, sometimes what we see on our screen is not what really happened on each driver's individual season, that then gets relayed back to the server and then showed to us. That's why sometimes we see like bonnets flying 300 meters in the air and then the bonnet comes back on the car. But no, Marcelo's got damage, unfortunately. Oh, this is such a bad break for him, and of course he's going to be, well, out of contention for a good finish, because, you know, the race is not very long. So Marcelo Reales out of contention for the win. Unlucky, but that's racing.
Yeah, Caio Gaspar now up into 4th position. He's going to start hunting down Laui Santi. We're right on board with the Brazilian in the number 7 car, chasing down his countryman in the 138, the Juncos Racing esports driver. We've now got a replay coming up now. This will be of the moment when it came through into Old Tree. Godoy was getting closer and closer, and you can see he's losing the back end on the exit of turn number 11 and through Old Tree. He loses the back end, points 90 degrees to the right hand side. And yeah, Marcelo Reales takes a hit on the on the left rear. So of course a little bit of damage. So he's had to effect a fast repair to get himself in some opportunity to get back into the race itself. But we continue to ride on board this time with the rear bumper cam of Laui Santi. There is Caio Gaspar, just over 2.5 tenths of a second behind as they head down the back straight, heading into turns 13, 14 and 15 over the crest. And, well, that was not at all a surprise that Caio Gaspar would have the momentum carried, the slipstream, and into turn 13 at the roller coaster. He went, right, Laui Santi, see you later.
See, like Laui has improved his lighting around the room, and also the telephone position to show us is, and you can see something that we all do, I think, when we drive with sim racing. Every time he takes a corner, he moves his body accordingly, you know, because you have the G-force pushing on you. It's like when you are on the straight in an IndyCar and you duck your head just a little bit when you are driving on iRacing to go faster, no? So it makes perfect sense.
Well, ducking your head down behind the steering wheel is a bit more of a karting technique. Just to get because with the front nacelle panel, front fairing and side pods, you've got no other aerodynamics apart from you cutting your way through the dirty air in front of you. But we still have this and 6 more laps to go. We're on lap number 4 out of 10. Zampolini now fancies his chances of getting past Lowie Santi, who's grinning like the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. I don't know whether his camera just froze just then on the Zoom call. Because Zampolini is going to wait and get through after opportunity here at turn 12 at Oak Tree. So Fabio puts the pedal to the metal. They're going to hit over 140 miles an hour. Keep your eyes... Well, I was hoping that speedometer was going to be kept there a little bit longer, just to get an understanding of how fast they really are going into turn 13 at the roller coaster. This time, Lowie Santi said, yeah, once bitten, twice shy on that particular occasion. Wasn't going to let Fabio Zampolini do exactly the same as what Caio Gaspar did on the previous lap, as our race leader Gaston Coulthard now has a 5.4 second advantage over Diego Villarreal. He's looking pretty good for one of his best finishes, if not his best finish this season, in second position, but he's been caught hand over fist by Caio Gaspar. But Coulthard has the fastest lap of the race, so 1 minute 49.047 as the change has happened. Through the exit of the horseshoe, Gaspar through on Villarreal. It's the number 22, Uruguay. Now goes down into third place. He's got a little bit of breathing space at the moment here, Marco. 1.6 seconds. At 1.8 as the pendulum continues to swing. You see picture in picture the battle for fourth between Lowie Santi and Fabio Zampolini as they make their way towards turn 7. Go through the complex here, heading into South Bend at turn 10. A lot of elevation changes, up, down, up, down. Seems like the cars are being used like yo-yos on a string, so to speak.
A bit of a mistake there from Diego, because at the braking area of turn 1 he was half a second ahead of Caio, but then there was a change of position all of a sudden. Here we see Fabio doesn't want to lose time and is really pushing hard to make that overtake over Lowie Santi, but easier said than done, because especially Lowie is defending beautifully, as now using all of the draft on the backstretch. You can see the yellow Cadillac closing very quickly, but no dice around here, a bit wide.
So, apologies for the slight technical difficulties we've just experienced there, folks, but we're back here for race 36, AMX 0. Oh, bit of a big moment there for Fabio Zampolini. And Marco, it just seems might have just had a big drama for the driver that was gunning for third position. So that's not exactly how Fabio Zampolini would want to try and go for third, would it?
Yeah, still, few laps to go, but let's see if Fabio can recover now, because 1.2 seconds. I have to say, Diego Villarreal driving absolutely fantastically today, holding on to the podium position. Of course, he has to hold on a little bit longer, but looking good for one of his best finishes of the season, especially because behind him Lowie Santi, Nico Godoy and of course Marcel Reales are having a bit of trouble. But let's see, because I'm sure Fabio will be very, very hungry to come back as the driver from Uruguay in these final 3 laps of the race, which should start just in a bit, because Gaston Coulthard is... Oh, a mistake there, he goes deep. Commentator cursed to the extreme. I'm so sorry, Diego.
No, I don't believe in commentators' curse. I call it fate of circumstance. You just happen to be talking about it, and it just happens. It's fate. It's what happens. But there goes Fabio Zampolini towards the outside on the start-finish straight. On the run down to the horseshoe, it's going to be nip and tuck between the pair. But Villarreal is going to keep the inside line for the horseshoe, is he? Zampolini turns it in. There's a little bit of a touch between the pair. Zampolini on the grass. There's Lowie Santi, who's up the inside of the 327, and there's a touch between the two, and Lowie Santi manages to keep it held on, and a little bit of a code brown there for the 138. But in the meantime, Diego Villarreal lost that third position to Fabio Zampolini after the touch. So you were saying about the fate of circumstance. We're not calling it commentator's curse because myself and seasoned sim racing and IRL commentator Lewis McGlade, we don't believe in the commentator's curse. We might be talking about somebody, you know what? It happens. We talk about them, something happens. It's just fate. It was meant to be.
I'm very curious to know how Diego lost the position, because we were looking at Langley Santi having a little bit of a lawnmower moment, and all of a sudden Fabio was in front of Diego. Maybe he gave him the position back for the collision that he had a few seconds earlier. Honestly, I don't know, but at any rate, we have Fabio Zapperini up to third position right now. Of course, you can see on the top left of your screens right now, gap to second place is 10.3 seconds, so absolutely no chance of Fabio gaining more positions unless something happens in front of him. He just needs to manage his car and bring it home in what could be in the end third place, and we will see once again what happened at third one and turn 2 with the beautiful replay provided by our fantastic crew behind the scenes in Korea. So there is a little bit of a collision there, big collision, and Diego continues on his merry way, and then
Langley Santi threads the eye of the needle between the two and then he ends up in the barriers, so he was very, very lucky indeed. I think he's got his traditional Cinco de Mayo race helmet on there. There's the 138. That's one of the other things I love about iRacing. You don't just customize the liveries of the car, but you also customize the race helmet. So Langley Santi, very, very lucky to get away with that one. But in the meantime, Diego Villarreal has just managed to get that gap up between himself and Diego to about a second, as we're halfway through what will be our penultimate lap of this race. I mean, Gaston Coulharvey has not only got the lead of the race, but he's also got the fastest lap of 1 minute 49.047. And this just seems to be the closest battle that we have so far here, Marco, as we go into the last stages of this race for AMX Zero.
And maybe Marcelo can come back at Nico there for 6th place, but again, Diego, beautiful race. He's holding on to Fabio using the draft. You can see the gap, 6 tenths of a second, as we see Marcelo in the Red Bull car. Oh, that was a bit too optimistic, I'm afraid, from Marcelo. And Nico Godoy goes into the gravel, basically the exact same spot where they had their accidental collision in the opening portion of the race.
Yeah. And that was probably Marcelo Reales doing an Alex Wirtz, running out of talent, outbraking himself going into turn number 11. But yeah, white flag is in the air. Now Fabio Zampolini and Diego Villarreal just under a second apart. We're going to have a look at the replay coming up very, very shortly. It's in right now. So this is where we see, well, Godoy was a little bit over the shop, coming up into Oak Tree, turn 11. I think that was 1 of one and 500 of the other. It was a bit of a 50-50 because Marcelo Reales saw that there was a gap. And Nico Godoy went in a little bit too wide, I think. It just kept on turning. And maybe he didn't see Reales there, possibly, Marco.
It was a weird line from Godoy. I tend to agree with you on this one. So, yeah, and Godoy has called it a day because we are on the final lap. He called the tow truck, I think, so that's going to be it for him. He will finish in 7th place. In the meantime, our race leader, we haven't talked a lot about him, which is good, because it means he had a very, very calm, cool and relaxed race at the front, and is about to bring home the first position. Just a few corners left to survive, and then it will be time for a party at Gaston Coulharvey's house.
Yeah, he'll be bringing home the bacon, so to speak, as he makes his way through in towards the final corner, out of turn 17, and race 36 of AMX Zero goes the way of Argentina's Gaston Coulharvey, and he wins by the best part of nearly 3.9 seconds after 10 laps. Gaspar took pole position, had to set up for second in that one. Fabio Zampolini, he will cross the line third ahead of Diego Villarreal. Great work by Diego, who at one point he's decided to celebrate another way going grass tracking. And the car's going to go sideways. Is he just trying to have a little bit of fun and frolics on his own? That seems to be the case. Luis Santi takes 5th place, and Marcelo Reales is just about to come across the line. There he is in the number 4 Red Bull Caddy Cts-V. Nico Godoy opting to finish, as Marco said, on the tow truck. And that concludes race 36. AMX 0. Let's have a look at the results. So Gaston Coulharvey picks up 10 points, aka $10 US, was P2 in qualifying. So he takes a total of $20 US in this race. But Caio Gaspar, credit where credit is due, the first driver this season to break $1,600 in prize money. So parabéns, Caio Gaspar, well done. Congratulations on that effort. Fabio Zampolini is in the top 7 in the overall rankings. He finishes P3. Diego Villarreal, Luis Santi, Marcelo Reales, and Nico Godoy. That is your finishing order for this particular race. It's very soon, in a few minutes' time, we're going to head to our next race, which will be race 28 of AMX 5. But Marco, let's dissect this adventure around VIR. We had thrills, we had spills, we had contact, we had some great overtaking. Again, with a car that everyone can get, a track that everyone can get on the iRacing server. It just goes to show the inclusivity of any skilled driver to come to race here at AMX Global.
Absolutely, and I was talking in the opening portion of the race that my very first commentary was with this car in a league we organized, me and my friends, in 2015. And some of those friends, we raced together yesterday 6 hours off the Glen, so the friendships you make here, they last a long, long time. It's absolutely amazing that we still are together. And as you were saying, you have the racing subscription, you can drive this car on this track, and also the next car on the next track, because we are going from a huge track in the wilderness to one of the shortest ovals on the service, one of the smallest cars in the service, the Legend Ford 34. So a unique race coming up next in just a bit.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much to Automatics and BenQ for their continued support. And we here at AMX Global are powered by Upbit. Don't forget, hit us up on socials. Why not give us a follow on Twitch, and why not subscribe and click the notification bell on YouTube. You can also, if you want to race with us in the next 3 upcoming race days for Beta Season 2, as we enter the final phase, hit us up on amxrace.com. You'll find us on Twitter, you'll find us on Facebook, you'll find us on Instagram, and even TikTok. So, of course, coming up in just a few moments' time, myself, Alex, and Marco will be back with you once again for Legends 34. The next race, AMX 5. See you in a bit.
Safeguard your eyes smartly and easily with an eye care monitor and eye care U software. Working on a paper? Turn on low blue light mode. Is the sun too bright? Let brightness intelligence do its work. Now better. Writing code gets your eyes tired? Try coding mode. Forget the time. Light Reminder lets you know. Totally immersed in the movie? Minimize software won't distract you. Brake Reminder and Force Brake help manage your screen time. When it's almost time, a countdown starts. Force Brake activates to rest your eyes. Eye Care U. Safeguard your eyes. Safeguard your eyes smartly and easily with an eye care monitor and eye care U software. Working on a paper? Turn on low blue light mode. Is the sun too bright? Let brightness intelligence do its work. Now better. Writing code gets your eyes tired? Try coding mode. Forget the time. Light Reminder lets you know. Totally immersed in the movie?
Time for the second half of race day number 41 here on AMX Global. You're back with myself, Alex, and my colleague, my partner in crime, Marco, as we get set for what is going to be an exciting, different challenge for our drivers. And pretty much 6/7 of the field have returned for what is going to be an oval spectacular here on AMX Global. And what's more, It is race number 28 of AMX 5. And a big thank you to everyone continuing to watch with us. We are going oval tonight for this particular race. So the good thing is, it's not just about turning left all the time. There's a little bit more of a skill set involving mastering of ovals. Now, with regards to this is race 28. Race 31 will be the final time that we will be competing in Beta Season 2 here on AMX Global. If you want to have an opportunity to compete in the final 6 races, head to amxrace.com to sign up now before you miss that opportunity, and you're going to have to wait for the next one. So, the prize pool changes in AMX 5. It's $5 to enter, but the prize pool increases by nearly $300 US, 161 to 437. Each of the AMX 5 races will take place at 8:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Daily Time, every Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. So with that, there's also further changes, again with the reverse grid placements, but the money increases. It's $25 for pole position and also for the race victory. Fastest lap of the race, in the race itself, $5, the fastest driver of all. So we've made sure that the racing is more competitive. That is why our grid sizes have averaged a lot higher over the past few races here in the final phase, AMX Global Beta Season 2. Next up, again, faster, easier payouts for the drivers. Players may request to be paid out at any time in increments of $100 US without waiting until the end of the season. That's between all tiers. So if you've got $121, you request a payout and receive $100 at any time. Additionally, your unclaimed winnings will go and roll over into next season if you don't claim them. Of course, the zoom cameras come into play as well, because for this race, it is mandatory to receive your prizes. And the link for those that are already taking part in this competition already have the link. They'll be accessing it right now as we speak. However, it's time to go over to Marco, the track, and the car. Take it away, buddy.
Thank you, Alex. Yes, we are at Langley, 0.4 miles of this very uniquely shaped oval. It's basically identical corners and very short straights. And did you know this track hosted NASCAR up until 1970? Yes, the top division of NASCAR. Today, of course, very active in the local community, and of course, meaning that you have anything going from the late models, the modifieds, the tour modifieds, and of course, the biggest series that runs here, the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East. So yeah, these cars, which we'll see in a second, will feel right at home. Not a lot of banking around here, so it's going to be very, very challenging for the drivers driving these beauties here. The legend Ford 34s, one of the rookie cars in iRacing, cars that are popular in a lot of places, including here in Italy and Europe, but of course in the USA as well, with a bike engine, I think, but don't quote you that the one in particular in racing has a Yamaha engine, but I'll get back to you on that one. The look is old, but the technology behind it is quite recent and modern, and the sound is quite amazing, so it's going to be fun, and they can really endure some beating and banging, I can tell you, these little cars.
Indeed, the legends were actually competing over the past weekend at the 10th running of the American Speed Fest at Brands Hatch GP, a circuit we've also featured here on AMX Global. One of my friends, Chaz Draycott, who I have to give a bit of a shout out, a fellow IRL and sim racing commentator, was doing some presenting for the legends for this weekend. But this circuit, very tight. Speeds are going to be crucial. Momentum is going to be crucial as we're getting into the final 60 seconds of this free practice session. So the drivers have had to up their game. They've gone from the long, sweeping fast, flat-out turns of VAR and now come to a very, very small car. You're seeing speeds of around 125, probably looking at about 90 miles an hour top speeds these drivers will be attaining down the very, very marginal straights between turns 2 and from 2 to 3, and then 1 to 2 to 3, and then 1 to 2. So you're gonna see what's saying from turn 4 to turn 1, and then from turn 2 to turn 3. Come on, Alex. I know it's a bit early in the morning here in the United Kingdom and in Italy, but bloomin' hell, got to get my numbers right. It's been a busy weekend. I've been on real-life commentary duty for the Stock Car Pro Series quite recently, but the practice session has come to its conclusion, and yet again... Well, there was a bit of a surprise at the end of it all. Fabio Zampolini, Fabulous Fabio, has put his car at the top of the timesheets with a 17.110. There's the overhead look at the circuit, very, very small, and with all 6 cars covered by 3/10. Now, remember the last time that we had ovals, myself and Brad saw a brilliant, brilliant battle that saw it come down to the wire within thousandths of a second to the line. But the qualifying session, 15 minutes. This is where the drivers are really going to have to test themselves here, Marco, because, having these cars around this circuit, we could see 3 wide, we could see 4 wide. Anything's possible on an oval.
Absolutely. I'm quite excited for Euro NASCAR to come in a couple of weeks' time here in Vallelunga. But also very excited because they will have the Legends as a support series, the Euro Legends this time, and seeing Legends live is, believe it or not, on my bucket list. So this is going to be absolutely amazing. Of course, we are using oval cars, and as I always say, qualifying becomes a completely different beast. First of all, because in iRacing, usually when you do, any kind of qualifying, but there was a bit of a Road America moment, if I've seen one, if you've seen the practice session from a couple of days ago between Scott Dixon and Will Power. As I was saying, usually you do qualifying alone in iRacing, in every series, but especially on the ovals, it's quite unsettling to have other people on the track with you. And of course, different what happens on the roadside, where many cars on the racing service, the more you drive them, the faster they get. I'm thinking about, for example, the F3, but also others. Well, with oval cars, you're going to have 1, 2, maybe 3 laps. I'm extending because it's a shorter track than most. And then your tires are getting slower and slower and slower. You need to go back to the pits and start again. So I think it will be a very, very chaotic qualifying session, especially because the track is so short. So we could see some big surprises, and of course, with the prize money already being put on the line now. Going to make this one of the most interesting qualifying sessions of the season. And we have a replay, I think, of one of the crashes we've seen in this first portion of qualifying. Beautiful. I have to do a little bit of self-celebration here, Alex. So this beautiful livery with the Flintstones, etc. on the car. If you go on Trading Paints, I have made a livery of this car looking like Donald Duck's car, with the 3 nephews, I don't remember their names in English, coming from the back of the car, like they are sitting.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
In Italian is qui qua.
Yep. We've already had that discussion previously, haven't we, on a broadcast, I think?
I think so, yeah. So, but sadly, nobody is running it. I think I'm the only one. I did this way back when. This car hasn't changed in. No, it has changed in 2018. They rescanned it completely. Still, classic car in racing.
Oh, right. We've got a replay here. This is Kaya Gaspar in the number 3. So losing the back end. Oh, wow, that's a hard hit. Oh, we've had our first roll of the night. Hey, and he's on the roof. Well done, Kaio. Oh, dearie me. Not a good way to start off qualifying. At the moment, he is currently P3 on a 17.182. Gaston Coulharvey is the quickest by just 15 thousandths. as the entire field is covered by just 3.6 tenths of a second. Diego Villarreal has put in a personal best. Looks like there's a shortcut attempt there. That was more than likely from Fabio, possibly, yeah, that was Fabio Zampolini. And this is the number 4 car, Gaston Coulthard, with pebbles showing on the back. There's Fred, there's Barney. All I'm waiting for is someone to shout out Wilma at the top of their lungs. I'm not going to do that on the broadcast because my microphone will clip. There's the number 22 of Diego Villarreal. I was going to say, I mean, I'm not too sure what livery Nico... Oh, crikey, O'Reilly. That was very, very close because Gaston Coulthard went round the outside of Diego Villarreal by millimetres. I think the livery that I was looking for was Nico Godoy's one in the 79. I'm not too sure if there might be a bit of a Mater inspired livery on the number 79. Well, it does look a bit patchwork on that one. Yeah, that has definitely got the Mater look, and all you need now is you got the 2 Italian cars. I don't know. I can't. I remember that one of them is called Luigi. He does the pit stop really, really quickly, and then scares the hell out of the NASCAR crew that are wearing the dodgy like Tash style grills. Kyle Gaspar's not having a good. Well, he's got a little bit quicker. He's got to within 2 1/1000ths of Gaston Coulthard. There's Fabio Zampolini in the 327. Very, very brightly coloured car in the with the typical Brazil and the traditional national flag alongside it. Gaston Coulthard improves quicker still, 17.147. Gap was 0.002, now it's 0.006, so driver's really getting up to speed. And he's hitting about 135 before having to lift off the throttle, turn the car in. Can really nail the apexes very, very nicely here at Langley. But now he's going to go into this one. He's going to start build. You can tell that he's just feathering the throttle there slightly. He's now going to cut. Well, he's pull it to the left-hand side of the circuit and just keep out of the way of everybody else. Lauri Santi in the 138 is about to come out of the pit lane. So is Fabio Zampolini. There's Diego Villarreal. There's the number 79 of Nico Godoy with the Mater inspired. If anyone might remember, Mater is Lightning McQueen's best friend and is the very, very rusty, hoodless, and hood as in not hoodie, but as in the bonnet of the car, or the bonnet of the pickup truck, is missing.
And see the replay of Fabio Sound sitting in third place, very, very close to the pole position, but of course nobody is immune from mistakes here, clipping the more than clipping, going all the way on the curb there, but grip will be at a premium, especially this very high track temperature that we have tonight. Another fun fact, I'm a bit of a space flight nerd, and that was a very close call. In the distance, you see behind turn 1 and 2 buildings. Those are the NASA Langley Research Center.
Oh, and that was a perfect 360 from Fabio Zampolini. Kyle Gaspar, in the meantime, has gotten ahead of Gaston Coulthard. Yeah, by 19 thousandths of a second. The entire field, folks, is covered by just 0.31 of a second at this moment as we ride on board with Kyle Gaspar. Outlaps currently underway for. I was going to say, Kyle Gaspar, do not go underneath the yellow line, please. Thank you very much. All I'm going to say is the less said about yellow lines and iRacing, the better. Comes out of the. There was a sharp intake of breath from Marco Barbanetta right there, folks. What on earth did you witness?
No, I mean, as an oval guy, first and foremost, as Zampolini goes fast, I know the pain, and when I see the driver starting to counter-steer with these lava-like track temperatures, with these cars, I'm always thinking about the worst possible thing happening, especially because in normal iRacing, in officials, this is a rookie series, so the things you see around here, you could write a book. So these drivers, of course, are a bit better than the rookies, quite a bit, in fact, so they were able to hold the car a lot of times, but, of course, not always. And so, yeah, I'm having some bad flashbacks, as Godoy is on a very good lap, but Kulavi is
So
an even
still-
better one, 17.091.
Well, get this, folks. That was 0.31 between all 6 drivers. It's now 0.23. Gaston Coulthard out of the final corner comes across the line. Oh, Gaspar puts it a 17.1 flat. Goes to within 0.8 of a second. So the race is on for the last 5 3/4 minutes of qualifying. Gaspar loses the back end, lights up the rear tyres and clatters into the barriers. So turn to garage straight away for the number 3. Here's Fabio Zampolini. Across the he's making his way through turn 1 through turn 2 onto the back stretch, and clips Gaston Coulthard. A very good this is what we can see in the race, folks. And a very big hello to Girl Made Car Memes. Good to have you back with us. She always makes an appearance for race 2, seems to be a regular occurrence. But yeah, I mean, that is something we could very well see what our friends over stateside love to call the big one. So here's a replay.
We'll catch a replay. Go ahead, Alex.
So yeah, the left of the right rear just clatters into Coulthard, and here goes So Coulthard, there's some afters, and then Kaya Gaspar full chat, bang. And Zampolini gets a second whack, and then he ends up on his roof.
He almost made it back to 4 wheels, but no.
No, not quite. Oh, dearie me. We're now, for those wondering, how many laps are they going to be doing? 50. 50 laps of this Langley Speedway, so you can bet your bottom dollar that there might be a few incidents. Sorry, I had to do my best Charles Leclerc impersonation when he was back in karting. There will be a few incidents along the way. So yeah, 50 laps. And this is a very short circuit, so just over about 27 miles of racing will be carried out. There is Gaston Coulthard in the Fruity Pebbles. Oh yeah, I was looking and I thought, hang on, do not tell me that's got fruity on the word of it. Well, Fruity Pebbles, for those that don't know, is a famous cereal in the United States.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of trying them a couple of times over here in Italy. A couple of times per year I make a big import order of food, snacks from the USA, and Baby Ruth, of course, and Reese's Pieces being my go-to, and always sneak in a box of Fruity Pebbles when I can. So, of course, don't forget the AMX rules in effect for this oval race, therefore, no cautions, but I think in 50 laps you can expect, boy, traffic plenty, we went through him!
It was like he ghosted him straight away, right there and then, oh my goodness me. That was Diego Vidal, I think, coming onto the scene of the crime a bit too fast, and there's Nico Godoy lighting up the rear tyres as he spins it 180. Come on, Fabio, just keep it on 4 wheels this time, please. Just keep it on 4 wheels. There we go. And, yeah, he currently still sits in 3rd place. Top 3 covered by 19 thousandths of a second, as they still have plenty of time to try and get their laps a little bit quicker. Harvey puts in a 17.2 on that one. There is Kaya Gaspar. Across the line, it was a 19.8, so yeah, they definitely do sound like they're motorbike engined.
Yeah, they also have a 5th gear available, but every time we've been on board, nobody has used it. It's not a big track, so I can imagine them staying in 4th gear all the way around. I have to say, all this spinning and crashing, I know it's especially the spinning, not the crashing, but the spinning, drivers losing control on the coming out of turn 2 and turn 4 does not bode well for the race, because I know they're pushing extra hard, because qualifying now more than ever is super important with the money on the line. But still, by the way, I love the fact that iRacing, especially back when they started, they used to scan the track as it was the day they scanned it, as Zamperini goes speeding through the start-finish line. And so the advertisement boards around are like as local as you can get. I mean, if you have a break from the cars and look at the advertisement boards around, they are properly amazing. So hopefully we can focus more on the cars, which means we're going to have a fantastic race. Only 45 seconds left in this quali session, and it's anybody's guess. The field is incredibly compact.
Yep, still, well, it's 0.22 separating first to sixth, so Kulharvi just under 30 seconds on the timer remaining. Laui Santi crosses the line, 17.792. Oh, Diego Villarreal goes for a spin. Whoops there for the Uruguayan. Laui Santi's done an improvement, personal best in sector number 1. Right on board with Fabulous Fabio, Mr. Zampolini. So he comes over. So you're going to get a... he's very, very close to the wire. Checkered flag is out for the session. That is it, done and dusted, and picking up $25 is going to be not Caio Gaspar, folks. No, it's Gaston Kulharvi from Argentina, the number 4 car that picks up pole position. What does that mean? First grid, folks. He starts from 6th. So Gaston Kulharvi whipping Caio Gaspar by 8 1,000ths of a second. 19 thousandths cover the top 3, courtesy of Fabio Zampolini with Laui Santi. Nico Godoy and Diego Villarreal rounding out the 6 strong. 0.217 seconds covering these 6 drivers. So the engines on the cars now roar into life. We're going to have a rolling start, so it's going to be Diego Villarreal on pole position through the reverse grid format we have now here on AMX 5 and also AMX 0. Nico Godoy will be alongside him in the number 79. Laui Santi and Fabio Zampolini, that's row 2. Bringing up the rear of the field, Caio Gaspar in the number 3, Gaston Kulharvi in the number 4. So the iRacing pace car has gone into the distance as we're gearing up to get ready for 50 laps of this circuit. So we're going to do another formation lap just to be on the safe side. This is just over half a mile long, this track here at Langley Speedway. 50 laps, it is going to be fast, it is going to be frenetic. Blink and you will miss it, folks. That's what hopefully myself and Marco will not be doing, blinking, because we are going to have to be eyes on stalks right about now. There is Diego Villarreal, Barney the flagman, ready to get things underway with the green flag, which is set to wave right now. Green, 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 and we're underway here at Langley Speedway. Good start by Diego Villarreal. This is nearly 4 wide going into turn 1. Gaspar up the inside on Laui Santi. Kulharvi trying to keep it pinned around the outside. Is he going to thread the eye of the needle coming out of turn 2? No, he's not. Into turn 3. And Gaspar looking up the inside of Laui Santi. Oh, it's going to nearly be 3 wide between the top 3. Godoy takes the lead away from Villarreal, who's lost out to Zampolini in the process. And Villarreal keeping it very, very wide through turn number 2. But Nico Godoy has got himself into the lead of this race. And Marco, there have been a few lockups here or there.
Yes, I think that Diego was all sorts of sideways. I saw him counter-steer on the webcam and then big smoke, and all of a sudden he was in 3rd. So I think we almost avoided a big one, because he was of course leading, and when the leader spins, well, of course the chances of a big one are increasing massively, as we see Fabio Zamperlini looking already at a way past Nico Godoy, who's leading the way on pace. So congratulations to him. We are on board with Laui Santi as they take a very tight line coming out of 4, triggering the pit entry marker for our graphics. But no, I think they want to stay on the racetrack. I know the pit lane is the safe option right now, but everybody wants to get a good finish. The field is so tight. This is going to be an amazing race. Already 6 laps in the books. Zamperini 17.336, but now Kulharvi 17.1.1. Fastest lap of the race is going to be beaten again, especially in the first few laps. Then it's going to become harder as the tires wear, as we have an attack for first place.
Zampolini looking up the inside of Godoy and has gotten through. So the 3:27 takes the lead away from the number 79. So Brazil leads from Argentina. Uruguay in the form of Diego Villarreal in third place. Gaspar now up into fourth ahead of Kulhavi. Lowy Santi brings up the rear of the field. Lap 8 is what we're now on. So I did say blink and you'll miss it. I've not even blinked, and I can't even look at the timing tower because the laps are just going past so quickly. Gaston Kulhavi, fastest lap of the race so far, 17.181. The Argentinian residing in fourth position in the Fruity Pebbles Flintstone tribute livery. He's got Caio Gaspar right on his case for that fourth position as we ride on board with the number 3, tight on the apex, coming out of the final corner. And yep, they're already 25% of the way through lap number 9, or on lap 10. And now Zampolini has got a comfortable lead. Villarreal is dropping, and he's dropped to 5th place. And don't worry about where it says pit lane, because what they're trying to do is get the maximum amount of run through the respective corners here at Langley Speedway. So if it does say pit lane, and they're just literally skirting in it with 2 wheels, don't worry. They're just trying to carry the speed as much as possible. But Kulhavi up to 3rd. Oh, moment there for Godoy, who loses the back end. And round the outside goes Gaston Kulhavi to take 2nd position away from Nico Godoy, who's coming under attack from Caio Gaspar, who's going to go round the outside of him through the very next corner. And again, another lap in the books onto lap 13 out of 50. High, wide and handsome to the outside goes Caio Gaspar, but can't get the run on Nico Godoy, but he's going to pull alongside. Is he going to pull past into the next corner? They are so close, they are nearly touching sidewalls, and Nico Godoy still holds on. Diego Villarreal is coming into this, but there's contact, big time. Godoy off, Gaspar off. Oh, it's only a case of one thing happening, and a chain reaction follows. Oh, dearie me. It was Gaspar and Godoy that ended up being on the receiving end of that one. So we're halfway through lap number 15 out of 50. It took a little bit longer than maybe we both anticipated, Marco, for there to be an incident.
But then it happened, and Kulhavi, 17.157, fastest lap of the race once again. Let's see if Diego Villarreal can close in on Lowy Santi, or if Gaston can close in on Zamperlini. Of course, Gaston pushing very hard right now. We'll get a replay. We had, I was about to say, I'm not envying Nico Godoy right now, because after sliding his tires were probably melting, and so he was in a bit of trouble, being overwhelmed by cars all around him, and here basically he was pushing up and Caio Gaspar was pushing down, and that is a recipe for disaster. Villarreal squeaks by, but Gaspar doesn't, unfortunately. No. Everyone, sorry, Villarreal doesn't squeak by. He gets a bit of damage, but you know these cars are quite sturdy unless you flip them, so he's able to continue. The real losers in this are Gaspar and Godoy. Let's see, because I think the fight for first and the fight for third are still very much up for grabs. Again, the important bit is that they don't hit the cone, the yellow cone there. If they hit that cone, then they will be tagged with a penalty, but if not, as Alex was saying, they can cut as much as they want on the apron coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, gap between Lowy Santi and Diego Villarreal. We're with Lowy Santi on the onboard camera. There's Diego Villarreal on the bottom left of your screen. He's about 9/10 of a second away. The gap is sort of fluctuating between Fabio Zampolini, Gaston Kulhavi. Kulhavi at the moment is set to pick up not a maximum score. He'd pick up $25 for taking pole position. He's got the fastest lap. That's another $5. Make that 30. He could walk away with $50 to his credit. Villarreal got a bit tail happy just then, trying to cut the circuit ever so slightly. Yeah, he's trying to close on the gap between him and Lowy Santi has now expanded, whereas the gap between Kulhavi and Zampolini for the race lead has now decreased.
Diego is struggling so much with his grip there. You could hear the tires asking for mercy, and you could see him trying to correct left and right on his steering wheel, as you were absolutely correct. The gap at the front now down to 0.8 of a second, so Gaston will try to put Fabio under big pressure as we are just now hitting the crossed flags, meaning halfway through. Now in NASCAR Race 2003 they would actually show you the flagman crossing his flags like they do in real life. Not anymore in iRacing, but in my heart it's the cross flags halfway through the race.
Yeah, so it has been a very fast and frantic adventure around this just over half-mile oval here at Langley Speedway. Zampolini is losing that lead quite considerably. A 17.7 for him last time, 17.491. So Gaston Coulthard was just 0.21 of a second quicker. Gap is now stabilising at around about half a second. Now it's decreasing, as Zampolini just having to coax the tyres through the corners. Am I right in thinking we could possibly see pit stops depending on how badly the tyres have worn at this oval, especially with these small cars, Marco?
It is not out of the question, especially if the drivers think that they need them. You know, it's honestly a struggle for everybody right now. And of course, there is always the option. I know you have to finish in the 80% bracket of the leader, but if you pit now and put 4 fresh tires, you could very well have a shot at the fastest lap of the race. Mind you, the pit stops in these cars are incredibly slow, like one of the slowest pit stops in iRacing, because they physically have to lift the car and change the tires manually, basically. So yeah, it's a bit of a gamble. We'll see. But I mean, Gaston Coulthard is doing what you want a driver to do that's chasing. Be gentle on the tires, close the gap slowly but surely. And now he has 19 laps to try to put on a move on Fabio, who's struggling a bit.
Yeah, also one of the interesting things, if you folks haven't found it out right now, so Zampolini runs wide. Coulthard's looking towards the inside of the very next left-hander. That is coming through out of turn number 3, through turn 4, across the line once again. That's lap 32 in the books, 18 to go. The camber of the right and the left front wheels are actually angled to the left-hand side in order to help with the handling around this circuit. But as I said earlier, driving an oval is not just about turning left all the time. You've got to be ever so careful with throttle and brake inputs. You've got to be careful with the tyres. You've got to coax them. You've got to make sure that they have the opportunity to have a little bit of life at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. So we're heading on to 16 laps to go. Lap 35 underway out of 50. And Coulthard is looking very menacing to the rear of the number 327 of Brazil's Fabio Zampolini. That was around about 0.3 of a second or just under it over the last 3 laps. You see the amount of concentration on Fabio Zampolini's face. He knows that Coulthard is there and is waiting for his chance to get through to take the race lead in the latter stages. As Fabio, that's very wide coming out of the final corner, and Coulthard looks for the inside run going into turn number 1. Through turn 2, Zampolini's wide. Will Coulthard get through by turn number 3? It's close, but Zampolini still holds on, but he loses the lead. Loses the lead as we come up to 13 to go out of 50. Coulthard gets the lead from Zampolini.
Fantastic move there from Gaston. It really showed, you need to work and work. Overtakes on oval sometimes last for laps, and really that overtake, Gaston started planning it 5, 6, 7 laps ago, and slowly but surely inched his way towards Fabio and was able to make it through. And now of course he needs to make himself scarce to avoid any kind of retaliation from the Brazilian behind him. We have Gaspar, who came into the pits and left. There is maybe going for the fast lap of the race.
Yeah, he was in the pit lane for pit stop was 20 seconds, so that sounds that he's put a fresh set of boots on that Legends 34 Coupe. As they come across the line, we're now on to 10 to go. 10 to go, including this one. Zampolini is keeping within a possible window of opportunity, but he is losing time at this moment. I'm looking at the lap times between him and Lawi Santi. Lawi Santi's last lap, 18.242. Oh, Caio Gaspar has just pumped in the fastest lap of the race. This is 17.145. He's a lap down on the leaders. Maybe nearly, well, he's make that 2 laps down, is Caio Gaspar. That's how quickly you can, if you go into the pits in this kind of race on a just over half-mile oval, you are going to be down by a couple of laps. So he's put in a 17.145. That was 12 1,000ths quicker than Gaston Coulharvey's fastest lap of the race, which was a 17.157. Gaspar really starting to stretch the legs on the number 3. I think he's going to have enough time to close all laps to close on into Nico Godoy. Godoy at the moment is running on an 18.178. Oh, Gaspar has just put in a 17.3. He's taken a walloping nearly 0.8 of a second out of Nico Godoy on that last lap, and he's really closing in on the race leader to try and put himself back up another lap. That's exactly what he needed to do. So 17.571 Gaspar, 18.027 for Gaston Coulharvey. We're getting very, very close to the end of this race. 4 to go as Coulharvey extends his lead to nearly 2 seconds over Fabio Zampolini.
Thank you very much, Caio, because I'm closing my account for the season on AMX commentary with a right call. Like, it doesn't happen very often, but yeah, finally somebody went into the pits, put the fresh boots, and gets a fastest lap of the race. When you are last or next to last, it's the best option possible, especially with this new prize money structure. And of course, the fact you have such a fantastic speed now ensures he's on basically just 1 lap down, and so he will be classified, which is crucial, as Gaston Coulharvey gets not the white flag, penultimate lap. And let me say also, Lawi Santi is on pace for one of his best finishes of the season.
White flag in the air, and what a race it's been here at Langley Speedway. We've seen a big incident. We've seen changes for the race lead, as there is the number 22, Diego Villarreal. But where is our race leader? He's taken the checkered already. That's how quickly it can transpire. Gaston Coulharvey took pole position in qualifying, and he takes home $50 by winning the race as he starts to light up the rear tyres on the number 4 and spins around, and that is it. He gets a little bit of a touch from behind, a little bit of a courtesy nudge, courtesy of Nico Godoy, but it was Gaston Coulharvey that won the race, having overtaken a struggling Fabio Zampolini, who comes home in 2nd, Lawi Santi in P3, Diego Villarreal in 4th, Nico Godoy and Caio Gaspar round out 6th strong. Caio Gaspar takes home further $5. Add that to his 15 plus his 20 from qualifying. He'll be going home a very, very happy man. So that rounds out race day number 41. What have we got coming up here on race day 42 in about a couple of days' time? Well, we're going to head to Alton Park for race day number 42, the Global Mazda MX-5 Cup. And then, of course, your favourite is front-wheel drive, Marco. You're going to miss out, mate. It's TCR at Silverstone. You're going to have to watch from the sidelines for that one for AMX-5. But what an evening it's been. What a race day we've had. Just 3 more days to go. Any final words before I start to close off the broadcast here today on AMX Global, Marco, from yourself after Beta Season 2 with your wonderful commentary appearances over the course of it?
Well, I have to say massive thanks to everybody. Of course, you, Bradley, Reed, Wayanu really wanted me here. And of course, TJ, Jacob, and all the guys and girls there at the Seoul headquarters. Thank you very much, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here. I can't wait for next season. And I have to say, well, thank you guys there at the bottom of the screen. Thank you so much. It was fantastic. And, I like to finish on a high with an exciting race with the legends. The Cadillac race was fine, but this was absolutely amazing with a nice battle for the win. A fantastic fast lap chase there at the end for Gaspar. And well, I'll be watching on the sidelines for the remainder of the season. Of course, I'm a big fan, and I'll be here in the chat interacting with you guys. Thank you.
Mille grazie, Marco. Mille grazie. Okay, that's it from us here at AMX Global. Don't forget, hit us up on socials. You know where we are. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. I've gone through the spiel. You know it off by heart by now. But if you want to race with us, we've got 6 more races to go until Beta Season 2 hits its conclusion. And then we're going to have to keep you waiting just a little bit longer to find out what's next here on AMX Global. This is the place to race. Come race with us at amxrace.com. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time in just a couple of days. We're back for race day 42. Goodbye.